Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News for the 10th day of December 2019. Good morning to everyone. And today's broadcast is brought to you by Scoot Around. How's that? For many of you guys have watched my special needs video that I did right after my last cruise. And Scoot Around is something that definitely I used and will continue to use. A number of our friends do so also, and they have become a partner on these broadcasts. I'm representing them. So for any of your specialty needs, if you're cruising or otherwise, here's the way to do it. You can contact me and I'll quarterback you all the way through it. Or you can contact Scoot Around direct, and their website is there. Their phone number is there to book whether it's a scooter or oxygen needs or wheelchairs or walkers. If by all means, if you're going on a cruise and have special needs, make use of Scoot Around. They're great folks. When I go on my cruise in February, my scooter will be waiting for me in the cabin when I check on into the boat. So they're great folks. They do a wonderful job. And it certainly made my cruising a whole lot better. And I'm sure it will yours too. But anyway, Scoot Around. They're great folks. Make sure you use the SRN number there. That's 11137. That will guarantee you the best rates that they have available, and also it guarantees that it goes into my account so that I can keep track of who is using them. So the main thing is for you guys is that will guarantee you the best rates they have available currently. So Scoot Around, great folks. And yeah, and it's in all transparency, I make a little commission if you guys book through them. Which is cool. Helps support the channel. This is a bit of a strange show for me today. Good morning, Jason. Yeah, Jason says that you should be an interview guest on TWB. Well, you know, I have interviewed Bruce. And matter of fact, that's the reason I'm using this platform. So he's so much bigger than I am. You know, he's got 30,000 subscribers, and I've got less than 2,000. So, but anyway, yeah, we're basically in the same space. Although he's only doing the one live broadcast per week, and it's normally tied to his trivia things. And I'm basically, this show is what Bruce did to build his channel for a long, long time. So he had the 5 o'clock hour at PM as opposed to my doing this at 6 a.m. And by the way, Brat the Cat is out and about this morning trying to con everybody into believing that he has not eaten and he's starving to death. So if he comes in here yowling, don't believe a word he says. Matter of fact, he started in on me at 1:15 this morning. I hate my cat. Anyway, on to today's stuff. This is it's a totally update show for me. Everything that I'm going to be talking about is updated. Of course, the worst is the New Zealand story. And there's still a major chunk that we don't know. And that's as of, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes ago. And another thing that I'm questioning the whys, but the New Zealand police have said that it's launched a criminal investigation into the deaths of the 5 tourists caused by Monday's volcanic eruption. Well, I'm not sure that I understand criminal. The volcanic experts said that, yeah, there were some warning signs, but they were very minor, and it was not anything that appeared to be imminent, or they would have stopped any of the tours going to White Island. And it pretty much caught everybody by surprise. And yes, it was a tragedy, but I'm not sure that the criminal investigation is quite what's needed. But anyway, it has been confirmed there were 47 people on White Island when the volcano erupted. It has resulted in 5 deaths. 31 people have been injured. There are 8 people still missing and presumed deceased. So that will probably eventually bring the death toll to 13. One of the problems that we have not gotten, even though Royal Caribbean is involved with this and have their care folks there on the scene, and both on their ship, the Ovation of the Seas, which was nearby. They still have not said how many people were from the ship. But here is what we know, again, as of about 30 minutes ago. The nationalities of those who were near the volcano when it erupted consists of 24 Australians, 9 Americans, 5 New Zealanders, 4 Germans, 2 Chinese, 2 Britons, and 1 Malaysian. And of course, they're still working on the identification process, and they won't break the numbers down any further. We do know that one of those, we don't know which one of those numbers, was an employee of Royal Caribbean, a crew member from Ovation of the Seas. The White Island, which is known to locals as Wakari Island, takes in about 10,000 visitors a year off of various cruise ships and their excursions to the volcano. And I had some people yesterday that were complaining about, well, they should never be at a volcano. Goodness gracious, there's a bunch of volcanoes worldwide that do the exact same thing. We've got one in Hawaii, and we've got the one up there near Bruce. As a matter of fact, it's in Washington. Mount St. Helens that goes off every now and then. They have excursions that go up there all the time. You've got several in Europe. So would I go up to one of those? Yeah, probably not. I don't walk that well, and they're moderate to extreme hikes involved. But it was a pretty nasty sight, as you can see from the pictures. And again, it's 5 official at this time deceased, and will probably end up at 13. The location of White Island was another thing that was somewhat not true yesterday. Taronga is where Ovation of the Seas is. The White Island, where the volcano is 50 kilometers, 31 miles from Taronga. So that's reasonably close in the scheme of things. Now, my niece, who's in New Zealand, she thankfully was on South Island yesterday, out chasing whales and doing wildlife things down there. But she stayed in Hamilton. And now if you look at a map, if the volcano's here, you go in 31 miles to Taronga, and then across the island to Hamilton. It's almost a straight line from the volcano, Taronga, where Ovation of the Seas is, to where Amanda was staying before she went to the South Island. And of course, it's I mean, it's an active volcano. I mean, it spews constantly. Something. Now, it doesn't erupt like it did yesterday. But anyway, it was just a terrible, terrible story, terrible situation for all involved. And of course, our thoughts are with the family, friends, and crew on the Ovation of the Seas, the other passengers on the Ovation of the Seas. It's still there. It's still in Taronga. At least I didn't check to see if they left this morning, but I don't think they were planning on it. But it's just it's a rough situation. And we still don't know for sure the count of how many of those involved were passengers. The Royal Caribbean has not released that. So that's an update on the situation in New Zealand. Now, moving on to Hong Kong. We've talked about Hong Kong, a bazillion times over the last couple months. Over the weekend, they had hundreds of thousands of protesters basking in the recent election victory by Hong Kong's pro-democracy camp. And they poured into the city streets on Sunday in one of the largest marches ever to pressure the government to meet demands for greater civil liberties. And when I'm talking about thousands in the streets, that's Hong Kong on Sunday. And as you can see, it is packed. It was totally peaceful on Sunday. However, the protesters vowed to use more aggressive tactics if the police cracked down. In the evening, the police readied canisters of tear gas as they stood opposite crowds of protesters who had barricaded the street downtown in a briefly tense moment, but it didn't develop to anything further at that time. Now, this whole situation is over the folks at Hong Kong protesting the Chinese government and human rights as we know them. Keep in mind that what we are used to and our freedoms are not necessarily the same as they are elsewhere in the world. And this is clearly one of those places. Unfortunately, the price that these folks are going to pay if they're ever successful in getting the government to accept freedoms as they want them is it's going to be a major hunk of price that's going to cost. What I mean by that, the latest report, and this also came out over the weekend, more than 5,600 retail jobs could be lost and thousands of stores shut down over the next 6 months as pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong continue to disrupt sales during the crucial festival period. So they're going into their festival period, which is like our Christmas period. And those stores and shop owners and all its employees need those sales to survive. And with all the protests going on, people aren't going out shopping. And it's a chunk out of their economy. So, yeah, there's a price to pay for freedom. And how far do you want to go with it? That's, something else again. Anyway, it continues. Supposedly the elections mean very little, but the pro-democracy folks claim victory. So Well, situation is not going away anytime soon. Sorry about my throat this morning, folks. It seems to be quickly going. One other thing this morning to mention, which is also an update. By the way, hi, Bonnie. Bonnie made it with us this morning. We haven't seen Bonnie for a couple of days. Hiya, everyone, she says. The cruise ship that is operated by Carnival, owned by P&O Cruises, had a bit of difficulty over the weekend, losing its propulsion out near Tenerife on a 14-day cruise out of Southampton. That's in England, UK. The Ventura suffered engine failure as a result, issued a mayday call. A large vessel departed. The large vessel departed her scheduled port and was visiting Santa Cruz, Tenerife, and the Canary Islands when she suffered loss of propulsion. They eventually got the ship back into port, tried to repair it. They couldn't. It will eventually get back to Southampton. It's going to be 4 days late. They've already canceled the next cruise. This was a 14-day cruise, no, 12-day cruise that the Ventura was on. That's obviously shot in the head. And the next cruise now has been canceled because it's going to be 4 days late getting back, and then they still got to repair it. So if you had anything scheduled on the Ventura in the next month or so, it could be problems. So anyway, some of the guests are being flown back to Southampton. Some are going to stay on the ship and get back 4 days late. So anyway, that is what's going on with that one. The P&O Ventura is 116,000 gross tons, carries 3,100 folks. And it's fairly new. It was delivered in 2008. Last underwent dry dock in 2018. So that's something that we have had ongoing problems with in this industry, especially the last year and a piece, is these propulsion issues. I didn't even know what an azopod was a year ago. Hell, I've talked about it a dozen times now. But anyway, another ship with propulsion issues. So we'll see what happens and what they do to get past that. So let's see, any other chats here, Bonnie? Oh, Gretchen popped in. Hey, Gretchen, how are you today? She says hi to Bonnie and Jason, and of course to the old fat guy. And I guess Brat the cat decided to go back to sleep. Surprised me because he's been out prowling around, yowling, and I was all night. I was ready to kill him, but no, I wasn't. So anyway, that wraps us up for today. Sorry, well, I'm not sorry. I mean, there was updates on everything and nothing new, which I guess that's good. Since we our news ends up tending to be bad a lot. But anyway, we'll be back on live on Thursday this week at 6 a.m. on Thursday, and then again on Saturday. If you're new to this channel, welcome aboard. We do this Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6 a.m. where we talk about travel and cruise industry news. And of course, if you'd like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, my interview show is called Chillie Chats. And by the way, I still have not been able to get together with Kyle Falwell and our update from the Bahamas. I mean, this is, man, this guy, I thought I was busy. This guy is busy. and getting him for 15 minutes is tough. So anyway, that we'll get that done hopefully sometime this week. So we'll have the interview with Kyle on the recovery efforts in the Bahamas from Hurricane Dorian. But anyway, if you like to keep up with any of that stuff, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner. The bell notification tells you when I go live or when I get a new video posted. And of course, we try to keep everybody up to date on what's going on in the travel and cruise industry world, brought to you by Scootaround. I like saying that. Anyway, all the information is down in the description down here below, phone numbers and all that kind of stuff. If you want me to quarterback your Scootaround needs, just drop that into the chat box or comment section once this becomes a video, and I will contact you directly and quarterback the deal for you if you need me to. And don't forget to use that SRN number, because that will guarantee you the best prices that they're currently offering on any of that stuff. So they're great people. By the way, Bonnie uses them too. Bonnie's the reason that I went with Scootaround. Quite frankly, she recommended them when I was on my last cruise, and that's how I got started with them. So anyway, so we're talking about maybe doing an Alaska cruise, and she and I would wreak havoc in Alaska with both of us on scooters. That'd be cool as hell. Anyway, that's about it for this morning, folks. Acting a little silly today, which I can do on occasions. So we'll see you guys again on Thursday. Have a great day. Be good, and be good to everyone else. This is Chillie, the Fat Travel Guy. That about wraps up today's travel and cruise industry news. We hope to see you next time. We meet here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This broadcast was produced by Chillie's Cruises and hosted by me, Chillie Falls.